Hey, there we are. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fireplace Friday, live from Jeremy's work truck. I'm driving down the road. I have nothing on my hands, so it's nice and safe. You're up on my little cell phone holder I got at Costco. It works out nice. You might be thinking, hey, is it dressed like a pirate day and I missed it? No, it's not. This is my sweatband because it is hot and humid in Kansas City. So, what happens when it gets hot and humid? What kind of phone calls, what kind of problems are people having with their chimney? Well, I'm here to tell you, usually after you have some rain and then it gets hot and humid, usually you get a lot of fireplace smells. And it smells like a barbecue in your house, and that's not cool. Why is that happening? Well, first and foremost, brick are porous, and they tend to absorb water in. So what happens when you trap water in a space and it can't get out to dry out? It starts stinking. Kind of like a bucket I opened up the other day. One of the guys had their fall protection bucket, and it had some rope and stuff in it, and it had rained while they were at the job, and he put the lid on it, not realizing that now you've just trapped in all this moisture, and so when we opened it, it kind of smelled musty and gross. Well, it's going to smell like a barbecue in your house with the fireplace because of course you burn and you have the smoke, and so it's a smoky smell, which isn't a smell you want all the time. You might want that smell when you go to Gates Barbecue, but you don't want it in your house, right? So as I'm driving down the road here, we got some construction, so I'm just being cautious as I'm talking to you. So anyway, so what's some solutions? Well, of course, giving us a call for an inspection. We come out, we're going to check the fireplace from bottom to top. We're going to run a video scan inside and make sure everything's in good shape and in place, and try to find, number one, first and foremost, where is the water getting in at? Because typically that's what leads to the smell. So we want to cure the source that's leading to the smell. So again, brick are porous, so you get a lot of smells with brick fireplaces. So we want to put a sealant on that, and the sealant we use, you want one that allows the brick to breathe but does not allow the moisture to penetrate. So we use a professional grade sealer, not like Thompson's water seal or anything, that won't allow that brick to breathe. We also want to double check and see if there's a utility flue in there, because the utility flue puts off a lot of moisture, and if you have any gaps or voids or anywhere where that moisture and the flue gases can escape, it's gonna really enhance the odor. We're gonna check the outside. We're gonna check the crown, which is the concrete portion at the top. Gonna make sure we got good chimney caps, maybe one oversized chimney cap to fit over the top, and any other place where water can get in, because we want to stop that to stop the source of why it's smelling. Now, another thing we want to look at and address is why are you smelling it? Because hey, if the chimney was venting right, I shouldn't be smelling it. So there might be a backdraft. If you feel a lot of heat coming down your fireplace, you might want to check and make sure your damper's closed. We could put a top damper on the top of the chimney to shut off the airflow. But obviously, we want to stop that air flowing back into the home. And also another thing that happens, the reason why that air is flowing in the back into the home is it could be a negative, what we call in the industry, a negative pressure in the building. So basically what that means is there's not enough air in the house, which is not an uncommon thing, because with all the upgrades and weatherproofing and everything that people have done to their homes, anytime they feel a little draft coming in somewhere, they always seal it up. Well, that's air trying to get into your home because the home is too tight. So usually the path of least resistance is the fireplace, because it's got a huge hole and goes up through the roof and just draws a lot of makeup air into that house that needs it. So what you want to do is you want to relocate that air coming into the house, instead of just sealing everything up, to a more comfortable space, which is usually like in the furnace room, adding a makeup air source to the return side of the furnace, so it'll temper the air, or it'll keep it, it'll warm it up, so you don't just have a bunch of cold air coming into your house just wide open, like opening a window or what have you. So So anyways, that's a couple things that can happen when it gets hot and humid like this, and we get a lot of chimney smell calls. What else is going on right now? We have still people buying houses, real estate. So a lot of people think that the home inspector comes out and the home inspector does a chimney evaluation. We get a lot of calls like that. Hey, the home inspector found this problem or that problem, and I need to get these items fixed. We go, well, we need to come out and do an inspection of our own to make sure there's no other problems. Oh no, he inspected. They don't. They just do a general overview. I always tell people the home inspector is like your primary care physician. So you go in and you do a physical, and he or she is gonna look you over, maybe do a few blood pressure tests, things like that. And if they see something majorly wrong, they're gonna say, hey, you should probably go and see a specialist in this or that, like a mole, and go to a dermatologist, or maybe you have high blood pressure, maybe you need to go to a cardiologist or something. So that's how it works with home inspectors and chimney sweeps, that they see something that looks funny, and then they suggest, hey, you probably need to get the professional out here, do a thorough inspection, check it out, and then do any repairs, because I see this needs to be repaired and that needs to be repaired. So and typically real estate's still pretty hot up until the kids get back in school. Then it slows down because people have to, take care of the children and the different things that you have to do when you have children. So at any rate, those are the two biggest items right now. Of course, we're doing a lot of repair work and everything. It's going to be a busy year since we had a cold winter. So if you have any chimney repairs or any chimney needs, it's best to get them done now. Give us a call now, because not only are we pretty booked up, and I expect to be extremely booked up this winter, starting probably in next month as it starts to transition, but also pricing is going up. Why is pricing going up, Jeremy? Well, I've gotten letters and letters and letters from my different dealers and suppliers and everything else, and most of my suppliers have had anywhere from a 10 to 15% increase on average this year, because they have expenses just like we have expenses. Things go up over time. It just is what it is. But the nice thing is if you get everything and get in now, I can go ahead and lock in your material and everything before they raise that price. So if you have any repairs or anything you need done, you've been thinking about it, we've been out or what have you, or if you think you have repairs, you might want to go ahead and get us out and check everything out, so you can go ahead and jump ahead of that. Also, another thing, if you've been on the hook about getting a wood stove, the EPA is requiring all wood stove manufacturers to meet a certain particulate emission standard, and it's a real high one. So a lot of your stoves are being switched over, and a lot of the older stoves that you might have been looking at or what have you won't be available for sale come January 1st, 2020. So if you're thinking about getting a stove, I'd go ahead and get it now, because the upgraded stoves with the catalysts and the bypass dampers and everything else that they're going to have to do to get these particulates and emission standards are going to be a lot more expensive. So, because they got more parts to them and everything. I like a baffled stove. I like the stoves we have now, but unfortunately a lot of them aren't going to meet the standard. They're basically putting catalysts in all of them to clean it up, just like this van I'm driving right now has a catalytic converter to clean up the emissions, right? So, anything else happening? If anybody has any questions or anything, make sure you throw it on here. Of course, like this. Louis Duesenberry, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you on here. If anybody has any questions or anything, give me a call at the office. Give us a call at the office. The reason I'm in my work van is I'm actually got several employees driving right behind me. We're going down to get a test proctored for the Chimney Safety Institute CSIA certification. Two of our office gals and two of our new technicians are coming down here to test out so they can get certified, and we'll have more certified chimney sweeps in our company. I'm very proud of them. So, all right, everybody have a good weekend. We'll see you next week for Fireplace Friday.